Guys, it's me here to read another bit of Define Normal by Julie Ann Peters. This is actually the last two chapters, so yeah, it's been fun. I love this book, so I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it and reading with me if you did. Alright, Chapter 29. Lying face up on my bed, my old lumpy bed. Not Yolanda's bed, not Jazz's bed, but my bed. I smiled at the ceiling, the cracked, yellowed ceiling. My ceiling, my walls, my certificates of achievement all thumbtacked in a row, not a bunch of sweaty strangers staring down at me. This was my room. First thing I did was toss off my shoes. Good. I was home. It felt right. Wait. Something was different. There was a letter propped up against the mirror on my dresser. I got up to check it out. The envelope was addressed to me, but I didn't recognize the writing. Slipping a thumbnail into the flap, I tore it open and removed the contents. It was a card with my name written on the front. Miss Antonia Dillon. Imprinted on the side, in fancy letters, was an invitation. You are invited to attend the piano recital of Jasmine Elizabeth Luther, Sunday, May 28th, 2 o'clock p.m., Bethel Hall. Wow, I thought, she's really going to play it? She's really going to do it. May 28th. That's tomorrow. Involuntary, my fingers traced across the letters in her name. Did I want to go to the recital? No. Yes. Even though it stung every time I thought about it. Our peer counseling sessions had formed a bond between Jazz and me. At least I felt they had. We'd been avoiding each other, which was no different from before. But I missed Jazz, since I was the one who'd make it possible for her to practice. To at least have a chance of fulfilling her dream. I really wanted to hear her play. I sprinted downstairs. "Mom," I said, catching her in the act, hanging up the phone. "Antonia!" She whirled on me. "You won't believe it. Paul Unger's putting me back on." "At the salon?" "Yes. It's only part-time to start. That's okay. I think I need to take it slow." "That's great, Mom." She looked so happy. Her face changed suddenly and said, "Might take a while, but I promise to pay back all your money, Antonia. Every penny." Then she added, "And I'm going to get the rest of our money back, too." That made me happy. "Mom," I started again, "there's this recital I'd like to go to tomorrow." "Go ahead," she said. "Do you need a ride?" The thought of making her drive made me tense. "No, I mean, I can take the bus." What I really wanted to ask if you'd like to come with me. She froze, her eyes glued to my face. She raked fingers through her hair. "I suppose there'd be a lot of people there." "Probably." Oh man, what was I doing? "If you don't think you can handle it." "No," she cut me off. "Why don't the four of us go? Our whole family." Our whole family? Had she finally accepted the truth? The reality? I threw my arms around her and squeezed. When she squeezed back, the wall between us crumbled. The kid in an oversized suit led us to a pew in the back of Bethel Hall. Most of the seats up front were already filled, with a smattering of people in the other pews. My first prayer was that Chucky could contain himself for 2 hours. My second prayer was that Mom would make it through. There were 8 pianists in the recital program, all Grégoire students, I figured out. When he got up to introduce himself and play the opening piece, Jazz played last. The other students were good. Not as good as Jazz. No way. One student was an old lady who had started playing piano at the age of 72. She wasn't bad for 72. The other students were younger, more advanced, at least to my untrained ear. I spotted Mr. and Mrs. Luther sitting in the front pew. They didn't see us. Mrs. Luther was intent on the performance, while Mr. Luther videotaped everyone. I didn't see Ram or any of Jazz's other friends. After the fourth or fifth piano piece, Chucky got fidgety, so Mom took him outside. Michael scooted over next to me on the slick seat. "This is boring," he whispered. "When does Jazz play?" "Soon," I said. I showed him in the program. Finally, it was her turn. I felt anxious, nervous. The anticipation was making me mental. If it was doing that to me, I could imagine how Jazz felt. What happened next totally blew my mind. This girl, this normal-looking person, strode out onto the stage. It wasn't Jazz. Or if it was, she'd been transformed. Her hair was brown. a normal-looking shade of brown, and it was brushed over to the left side in a knot secured by a pearl barrette, a subtle style that could cover a bald scalp. She wore a dress, the dress, blue velvet dress with white ribbon sash, tied in a bow in the back. She had a white she had white hose and high heels. Her face showed just a hint of makeup, a little blue eyeshadow and some pink lipstick. No jewelry reflected in the lights. No earrings, no eyebrow rings, no visible tattoos. She smiled timidly. Mr. Luther moved with the camcorder to get a better angle. He crouched down in front of the piano. Jazz's eyes swept the audience. I read her expression. Sheer terror. Her gaze lit on me and held. Then she took her seat and adjusted the bench. Jazz closed her eyes. It was so quiet in Bethel Hall you could have heard the fluttering of angel wings. Or maybe that was my heart. In a flash, she was off. Jazz's fingers danced across the keys. I watched as people leaned forward in their pews. There was this collective intake of breath as Jazz flew through the Mozart sonata. Mom sneaked back with Chucky. He was dead asleep. He didn't even wake up at the tumultuous applause. Next, Jazz played Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun. I almost lost it. It was so beautiful and so moving. All too soon she finished. She stood to bow, was nearly blown off her feet. By the force of applause, someone yelled, "Brava!" Someone hollered, "Encore!" Jazz picked up the chant. We all clapped in unison, repeating, "Encore! Encore!" It woke Chucky up, and he rubbed his eyes. When he joined in the clapping, it made him giggle. It made me giggle. Even Michael smiled. Jazz sat back down on the piano bench when the audience resumed their seats. Her encore sounded familiar, only because I'd heard her play it before. Chopin Polonaise. I closed my eyes and rested my head on Mom's shoulder. I felt this calm, deep sense of something. Joy, maybe, or hope. Mom whispered in my ear, "She's wonderful." "Isn't she?" I beamed. I felt proud, as if Jazz were my creation. She wasn't, of course. She'd sneer at the mere suggestion that she was anyone's creation but her own. The recital ended, and everyone congregated outside. "Antonia, hello!" Mrs. Luther grabbed me in a bear hug. "And Michael and Chucky!" She reached down to touch them both. She enclosed Mom's hand between both of hers. "Mrs. Dillon! Patrice! It's so nice to see you again. I'm Margie Luther, Jasmine's mother." "Oh, hello," Mom said, smiling. I knew she didn't remember meeting Mrs. Luther. Mrs. Luther knew it too. "Daughter plays beautifully," Mom said. "Did you teach her?" Mrs. Luther laughed. "Not me. I'm tone deaf as a rock. No, I think she got her musical talent from some long-lost relative. No one in either Lawrence or my family plays instruments. Our other daughter either. We're all so ordinary next to Jasmine." She glowed. I wish Jazz could have been there to hear that, to see her mother's face. She made her so happy. Mrs. Luther motioned her husband over and introduced him to Mom. Chucky gave Mr. Luther a big hug around the legs. Mr. Luther wasn't even embarrassed. He just hugged Chucky back. "Here she is now, the prodigal daughter." Mr. Luther turned the camcorder to Jazz. "Dad." She made a face into the lens. She crossed her eyes at me, and I laughed. Mrs. Luther began to tell Mom what lovely manners we all had, what nice children we all are. I wanted to climb out the stained glass window. Mr. Luther aimed the camcorder at Jazz and me and said, "Okay, you two, you're on. Say something profound for posterity." "I'll show 'em my posterity," Jazz muttered and started to turn around. I caught her arm. "Be nice," I said. Both faked smiles for the camera. Jazz said, "Let's get out of here." She grabbed my wrist and yanked me down the front walk. Chapter 30. We wandered across the lawn and down a hill to a nearby playground. Pausing beside the cluster of purple crocuses, Jazz picked one and said, "I'm glad you came. Got your hair cut. I almost didn't recognize you." "Me? What about you?" She held up a hand. "Don't say it. This is the ultimate humiliation, looking like a priss. I don't know how you stand it." I sneered. "Then why did you do it?" "Let me guess. To please—" "You're wrong," she broke in. "Okay, you're right. You believe it?" Sticking the crocus behind her ear, she added, "What you said about people watching me and not listening to the music was right, too. I didn't want that to happen. Not today." "It didn't." But I don't think I'm sacrificing my temple. Tomorrow it's back to worshipping at my own altar. You go, girl, I said. Just howled like a coyote. She peered up the hill to make sure no one, or everyone, was listening. We both flopped down on the swings and began to sway. Jazz pushed off and leaned back. Hey, your mom looks great, she said in passing. Yeah, she's so much better. Are you? I froze. Jazz stopped swinging. Sorry, she said. Sometimes my mouth. No, I met her eyes. I am, thanks to you. You're an awesome peer counselor. Yeah, right. She looked away. You are, I said. You really helped me, Jazz. You know you did. Shaking her head, she muttered. I wanted to call you so bad, but I didn't think you'd ever want to talk to me again. I didn't think you'd want to talk to me. We both looked down. Jazz said, I think we need to talk, especially about what happened. Yeah. I ground my shoe in the gravel. Because, she went on, we need to figure out how to get to Leo. He deserves a slow, agonizing death, like rat poison in his Tic Tacs. I laughed and held up two fingers. She just seethed. You could probably report him, I said. It's got to be unethical, what he did. Jazz shook her head. We better not. They might trash the whole PC program. No way, I said. Way, she countered. My eyes widened at her. It was a worthwhile program. A lot of people could use peer counseling. A lot of people like me. Seriously, Antonia. Jazz cut into my thoughts. It really helped me, too. My mom and I actually sat down and had a real conversation about you. What? Don't freak, Jazz said. I didn't tell her anything we talked about in confidence, but it sort of led to this discussion about trust, what it means, and life, what's important to us. Not that anything will change, but we ended up screaming at each other. That's something. We didn't scream at each other, but that's something. That's major, I thought. You're gonna hate me for saying this, Jazz, but I think your mom's a really nice person. She made a psycho face. You're allowed to like, deep down. I added quickly. Where it counts. Jazz turned away. If you can get past the punk, you mean. If you'd let people, I countered. Jazz twisted around in the swing. So have you joined math club yet? She said. I changed my mind. She stopped twisting. I'm joining swim team instead. At her shocked expression, I held up two fingers. She snorted and twisted back around in the swing. Speaking of swimming, next Saturday, Mom wants to throw me this big birthday bash. Jazz rolled her eyes. It's going to be a swim party, and she wants me to invite all my friends. Will you come? I hesitated. You really want me to? No, I just told you about it so you'd feel deliberately I left out, need a long-term psychotherapy. She cocked her head at me. Yes, I want you to come. According to my father, you're the only normal friend I have. She curled a lip. Plus, Ram's mom is, really depressed and drinking again. I thought maybe you could talk to him about it, since you sort of understand what he's going through. If you want to, I mean. Yeah, sure, I could do that. A wave of warmth spread through me. I'd love to do that. On one condition, I said. What? You play the piano for everyone. She opened her mouth to object, but I cut her off. Sink or swim, I said. She closed her mouth. I'll think about it, she muttered. Think fast, I need to know. Geez, have a hemorrhage. Her eyes widened at me. Heaving a heavy sigh, she said, Yeah, I guess it's time they knew I was a real geek. Jasmine? Mrs. Luther called down the hill. Come on, your father wants more movies. Jazz narrowed her eyes. I'm going to bust that stupid camcorder over his $100 haircut. No, you're not, I said, because you love the attention. Antonia, she said, smirking, you know me too well. She pushed off her swing. As we started up the hill, I said, There's something else I want to talk to you about, Jazz. I was just kidding before. I am going to join the math club. You're a glutton for punishment. Don't I know it? It's pretty boring with all those nerds, though. No doubt. What do? Recite rational numbers in unison? Or is it verse? To be or not to be squared. Will you shut up a minute? I whacked her. What I wanted to ask is, will you join me? She stopped dead. Math club? I arched a hopeful eyebrow. Her eyes strayed over my shoulder. God, can you just see Bart Holy's face when I walk in with you? She might surprise you. You surprise her. I told Jazz about the afternoon Miss Bartoli heard her play. How shocked she was. Jazz's eyes gleamed. You thinking what I'm thinking? I smiled. Major ornamentation. Total decoration of the temple. I might have to borrow some clothes, though. All my leather stuff is at the cleaners. Antonia, she linked her arm through mine. You aren't Bode, I said. I know. Bode and bad. I just can't wait to see your Kronk. Alright, guys. That was it for Define Normal. I hope you guys liked it. I really liked reading it. So let me know what you want to hear next, and I will find something to come up with. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.